Okay, y'all, let's go ahead and do number 40 and, number 39 and 40. Oh, let me get this open. And here we go. Okay. Directions say to write the augmented matrix for the given system of equations, then perform the indicated elementary row operations in the stated order. So I'm busy right now. Okay, so unload and load the dishes. So for 39, the augmented matrix is going to be 1, -5, 4, 2, 2, 5. Give me like 5 minutes, Cameron. And so, if asked to do that, you would just put the coefficients inside of those bars right there, like the brackets. And what I'm going to do is actually write that right here so that we can perform the row operations on this matrix. In the exam, I will actually list it like this, and I will tell you exactly what to do. The matrix that you get from doing that step, you will put A next to it, B next to it, C next to it. There is a typo on here. It says for B, it says to do a -1/8 times row 2 to get a new row 2. We're actually going to do 1/12 times row 2 to get a new row 2. This could also be written as row 2 divided by 12 to get a new row 2. Okay, so for A, what it tells me to do is -2 row 1 plus row 2 gives me a new row 2. I'm just going to work down. Because it shows me row 2 changing, that means row 1 is left unchanged. If you do this math, y'all, if you do -2 times 1, you get -2. -2 plus 2 gives you 0. Okay. And if you do -2 times a -5, you're going to get 2 times 5 is 10. Signs are the same, so it's a positive 10. Plus 2 makes 12. And then -2 times 4 gives you a -8, plus 5 gives you a -3. I then, on my paper, would write the letter A, and I would circle it. That tells me that this is the matrix that you acquired from applying that elementary row operation. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do B, which is going to be a 1/12 times R2. And it'll give you a new R2. Like I said, you could also do row 2 divided by 12. Okay, so technically what I've done here already, y'all, is I already had my pivot point. I turned my row to column 1 into a 0. And so now what I would be doing is turning my 12 into a pivot point. Row 1 remains unchanged. And then if you do this math, y'all, what I get is 0 divided by 12 is 0. 12 divided by 12 is 1. -3 divided by 12 is going to be a -1/4. And that would actually be my B. I guess in this class, they're not really having us solve all the way in its entirety multiple matrices. So unfortunately, that is as far as we go in this problem. Even in the exam, you do not continue to solve them. You just do the row operations that I list. So that is literally it. That's the only work that is needed for problem 39. Now let's do problem 40 real quick. Oh, I did it again. Delete that. And then let's go ahead and delete all of that and this right here. Okay, so for problem 40, I actually have a 3 by 3. I'm going to go ahead and list the augmented matrix right here. I get 1, 1, 1, 0. Then I have 1, -1, 3, -10. Then I have 4, 1, 1, 9. I'm going to look at the row operations right here, A and B. A tells me to take a negative row 1, add it to row 2, and what that'll do is give me a new row 2. And so I noticed that the only things that's going to change is going to be my row 2. So I can go ahead and just simply write my row 1 and my row 3. Now let's apply that rule. It says to do negative row 1 plus row 2. So a negative 1 plus 1 gives me 0, right? That's what I'm doing here. And that's great because that's basically a pivot point, and my goal is to turn these into zeros, right? And so let's scoot over to row 1, column 2. Negative row 1 would give me a negative 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 is a negative 2. And then negative 1 plus 3 is going to give me a positive 2. And then negative 1 times 0 is 0. Combined with the negative 10 is just negative 10. I would put on there that this is my A matrix. And let's do B, which says to take a negative 4 times row 1 plus row 3. That'll give me a new row 3. Because the only thing I'm getting that's new is my row 3, that means I can go ahead and write my row 1, and I can go ahead and write my row 2. I am turning this into a 0. So if you do negative 4 times 1, you get a negative 4, plus 4, you get 0. Negative 4 times 1, you get a negative 4, plus 1, you would get a negative 3. Negative 4 times 1, you get a negative 4, plus 1, you get a negative 3. Negative 4 times 0, you get 0, plus 9, you get 9. You would label this with B, and those also, unfortunately, are the only steps we do. I'm not telling you to do this problem, but the next step would be pivot 0, 0, pivot 0, 0, and we could solve for X, Y, and Z in this manner, right? Okay, so that was my 39 and 40. I'll be back to do the last two problems on this review. If y'all have any questions, make sure y'all let me know, okay? Thanks.